All right, let's get ready to rumble. Hey, Internet, my name is Todd. Welcome. Thanks for joining. If this is the first time here, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe. Hit the like, the follow, all the internet. Internet? That's a word. Anyway, so we're going to be playing some Dungeons & Dragons tonight. I'm going to be playing the DM, as you can probably tell by the label. Also, if you wanted to do this in audio format, we do a podcast, and I'm finally back on that, and thanks very much. And hey, I see you, England, up in your game, challenging the United States, and I approve of a good old-fashioned former colonial throwdown. You know, so we'll see who beats who this week. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful time. We are live on YouTube and on Twitch. And if you are joining us live, don't forget, you can always jump in and influence the game. So you can spend what we call plot points. And that allows you to influence the game, make some suggestions, maybe throw in an idea or two, maybe grab a plot hook that I forgot and get it back in there. Whatever it is you want, you can jump in and be part of it. The other thing we do is, I also do video games, and we sometimes play Shadowrun as well. So it's not always just Dungeons and words. Anyway, forget about my words. We're gonna meet the rest of the table in just a moment. Hopefully the tech is working. And we'll try to get that up and running. And we'll meet some new players and some from last week as well. So, without further ado, welcome to our table. Hi, everybody. You are live on the interweebs.
Hello.
On the interweebs.
All over the interweebs. So, welcome to the virtual tabletop. We've got some people coming back from last week. We got a new player. We're just going to go around and introduce everybody. So let's start. I'm going to assume over here, and that is with Steve. Take it away.
Hey everyone, Steve here. Getting back into the D&D again. Still with Gex Tetford, the Goliath rogue. I was thinking more about how to describe him, and I would say he's the world's largest cat burglar, which is like a roadside attraction that hopes you never visit him.
Fair enough. All right. If by the time you see him, it's over. Yeah,
it's like your map just doesn't work. Did we make a wrong turn, honey? I swear it was just over there. You know.
It's like when you're driving through parts of New York and you're like, "Do I get off here?" No. Keep driving. Keep driving.
Just find it. He's around here somewhere.
And then you just see the building move and you realize it's one of his legs. All right, let's keep going around the horn.
Here.
We're going to keep going around the horn and meeting the table. I guess we'll go with Carl next.
All right, Carl here, guys. I present to you Dave Tillman. Dave Tillman is a Tortle Cleric with an aggressive secret. Mellow as... I can't swear here, can I?
You can totally.
All right, well, mellow as fuck. He has shrooms on his shell, and you know what? Just loves to absorb every local tradition that he comes across.
Yeah, man. It's all good, man.
Yep.
That's amazing.
For those, that's great.
For those who know Carl, this is a lovely step. I love it. Love it so much. All right. And stay tuned for any developments that happen with his character, as he is a Twilight Cleric. And a quick reminder, we are all currently level 2. So let's keep going around. Gordon, take it away.
Hey, playing a human rogue named Rook. And he's trying to kind of solve a bit of a mystery with an event that happened to him and took away his friends and most of a district in the city of Tazfarel. And right now he's trying to understand what was the artifacts and get clues to track the one specific one down.
You know, one of my favorite things about gaming with you, Gordon, is you'll say something, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. I better make a note. Like the name of the city that I invented. I think I've been dipping into Dave Tillman's shell mushrooms a little too much. Anywho, and joining us, stay safe, kids. Stay in school. Joining us for the first time in a very long time, but not for the very first time, is none other than Tihmily. Welcome back to the table, although it's a little different than when you were here last.
Yeah, definitely looks more like my table than say your table. But glad to be back. I am going to be playing Hilda Bonebraid, who is a ginger female dwarf paladin who wanted to break away from her family tradition of being smithers and attended med school, but that didn't work out so well. But now she's a paladin, so
Nice. I love the visual in the dwarven. Be like, you're gonna be a smith, aren't you? And like, but Mom, Dad, I want to be a doctor. Like, you'll be a smith.
Exactly. I'm sure that's
the
how
hammer
it turned
too
out.
good for you. Wait, are you too good for the hammer? Something like that. This is why.
Yes, that's perfect. And that's probably why she's on the venturing quest now. You know, can't really bring herself to go back home and face the whole, you didn't make it through med school, did you?
Oh
Back to the
no.
forge, have you?
Oh no, there's a smith backup plan just waiting for you. There's an anvil with your name on it. Oh dear.
They just keep it polished while I'm gone.
Oh boy. There's so much family drama already. I love it. All right, so we are going to dive right back more or less close to when we left off in episode 1. And in just a moment. So we'll do our little cartoon. Once we're ready, we'll come back and we will begin some Dungeons and Dragons.
Very sequential.
Love it.
Freeze.
All right,
So-
my guy's just recovering from near death.
Yeah. So
Is that
in the city of Tazvarel, thank you, Gordon. In the fantasy city of Tazvarel, a blend of steampunk engines moving people about. There's a blend of magic and, of course, good old-fashioned fantasy. Lots of work for a smith in this town. There are gnomes, driving strange mechanical devices that they've invented, or there are elves wandering through. There are merchants. Down by the shore, you can see the tall ships with of various designs. There's a couple of elven ships in dock. There's several human tall-masted ships. Even a couple of steamers and dwarven and gnomish make. You've also looking out at over the relatively calm bay of this inlet near this kind of city. It kind of goes in a crescent shape around this bay, and the cliff sides increasing off to the due west, and some of the older sections of the city, mostly now abandoned, extending up and to the right as you go that way. Some broken and ruined towers visible in the morning sun. You can see, the evening in the sunset. You can also, looking out over the bay, you can see where the natural kind of inlet opens up to the ocean, and you see, the waves and a couple of far off islands just spotting the water, just barely on the edge of vision. Somewhere out beyond are the spines, the dragon-controlled little island kingdoms, sometimes vying and competing with each other, other times uniting and those are dangerous times. Closer to home, you see occasionally wandering through the crowd. You're in the more docks kind of like there's the docks, and then near the inner ring, closest to the docks, of buildings and shops and inns and warehouses. It's a real blend, and as you move further and further from the docks proper, you move into more and more residential, and then a big market, and then the richer area on the outskirts of town, especially due west is a bit richer, where there's kind of a walled city. It's definitely gated community feel. You've spent various amounts of time in this city, each of you having your own story. Tillman recently arrived not too long ago, taking in the sights, and at this moment, just poking your head out of your shell at the nearest sound, and just blood just pouring out of your nose still from where we left off. You've got the human slight Rook, when they look at you, what do they... We're still in the bar where you were just after the Tillman got himself a little bit stomped. And you and Gex were gonna go somewhere, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we were. I mean, there was a bit of an interruption with a bunch of the local law coming in and putting up a sign that promoted an event that's coming up called the Gauntlet. But besides that, we were going to leave Tillman to recover, and we were going to give the Harbingers of Boone a visit because Gex arranged an introduction.
Absolutely. Now, you had been kind of observing kind of an evening at a mid-level inn, and there had been a bit of an interruption when this gang of mercenaries came in, kind of trickling in, and one after another causing increasing levels of trouble. Most of it was just kind of a show, so you could all sit and drink your ale. But after some time, one of the lead, a big half-orc named Garrick, decided to start playing a little bit rough with some of the locals. And Dave is a pretty chill turtle. But Dave, something happened there. Why don't you tell us about it?
Dave doesn't like bullies, man. And just... I don't know, he's probably too stoned to remember, but...
Yeah, he's definitely popping more mushrooms as he's trying to heal.
But yeah, he didn't like bullies, and he saw someone, getting picked on, relentless. Garrett came over, tried to force Dave to drink a questionable beverage, if you will, and Dave didn't have any of it. Now, Dave also probably overestimated his powers and decided to try and put people to sleep, which, led to another thing and another thing, and now he's bloody.
Yeah, I believe the Garrick and his friends just stomped on you. Literally, especially after you eventually retreated inside your shell.
3-on-1 though, and I did fuck up a dog.
Oh, you did some damage. I'm not saying you went down without a fight.
A dog.
Well,
it
one
wasn't
of them
really
was
a
a
dog.
druid. One of them was a druid who appeared as a dog and then boom, came in and really took some swings at our dear Tortle friend over here. So it was a night, is what that was, and Tillman unfortunately was providing good entertainment, but what was your hit point total at the end?
1.
There you have it.
I am still at 1. Absolutely.
But fortunately, one of the Tabaxi woman named Hernessa came in and called off the curb stomping of our Tortle friend, and the rest of you just sat and watched. Rook and Gex already knew each other, and they ended up getting drawn into a conversation with a dwarven woman who was also sitting at the bar just having a drink.
Just we're all having a drink.
Yeah, and just watching this go down. Unfortunately, the evening did take a turn for the serious in 2 points. A fire got put out by our friend Rook, and also the little halfling on the mercenary side didn't really understand the idea of pulling punches and necrotized a human, just wrecked this poor guy at the inn. The innkeeper is currently disposing of his body. So.
Ooh. That's yikes.
And now the innkeeper did know their name. She had a name. Her name was Tien, half-elf, middle-aged half-elf woman who seemed to know everyone involved and did appreciate the help in putting out the fire. So in particular is a bit, has offered you a free stay to Rook and anyone of his companions. Now,
And free drinks for a year.
Woo!
I wrote that down.
Of course.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah,
I
I,
heard
don't
we
think I
ruined the
remember that.
economy.
I remember you screaming that at the top of your lungs.
All right, do you want a room or not?
That's
Oh,
Tien's
I'm gonna take
by
the
the way.
room.
I'll take the room.
So it's up to you what you want to do with the evening. You did manage. Oh, and Gex, you ran up to Harnessa. And what happened there?
So I presented her with a little token, sort of expressing that I had intimate knowledge of the kind of person that she was, and
What's in the box?
essentially saying, hey, like, I want to show some appreciation for where you've got yourself in life.
Ah, yes.
Which is getting
thick
a
as
door
thieves.
open.
And she
Thick as
mentioned.
thieves, yeah,
So she
kind of a
accepted your.
congratulatory.
Mhm.
Congratulations for being awesome. And so got us an invite to a meet with the Harbingers of Boone.
Which is the name of the mercenary group that she heads.
Yeah.
Rook had rumor that he should talk to Harnessa, your common questionable contact, steering in her direction as you're trying to find more info. And she seems to be doing pretty well and well connected, and which is significantly better than a lot of what the rest of the Black Sparrows are. Black Sparrows is a local thief guild, not the only one, but one of them, and one that has recently taken a hit in its memberships. And so they're a little bit weakened, so they can only do so much. And I believe that pretty much brings us up to speed. So I have a question for you, Tihmily. There are two possible entry points for this story. One, actually just by fluke, really easy. So if you want the easy way in, we can totally do that. Second is a bit more complicated, but I'm definitely willing to do that. So why don't you choose your own adventure? Which one do you want?
Wow.
Nothing wrong with the easy
let's
way.
go-
It actually just worked out that way. I forgot you were a dwarf, and I was like, oh yeah.
Easy to pick up. I think I'll go with the easy way.
I appreciate a good easy way. Let me just jump this. Hold on, I gotta think.
That was easy.
Easy way. Easy. All right, fantastic. So these fools have been hanging around, and there was a dwarf woman that was chatting with Gex. And now, by a wave of the wand, that woman is no longer named Rebecca. Maybe it's a middle name, Hilda, Rebecca. You don't give your real name to weird Goliaths, maybe. I don't know what the rule is. No offense to Goliaths.
Oh, I didn't use my real name when I came into the bar either,
Oh,
so.
that's true. He always gives out his false phone number. So anyway, you've been here the whole time. And you saw all this go down, and Rook and Gex had been sitting at your table trying to like lay low from the crime. Do me a favor. Can from the law enforcement, Hilda, can I get you to do an insight check, please?
Oh boy. Yeah.
You
Everything
can do.
is on my
You can
character
roll,
sheet.
or you
seems
can
to
do
be.
it on roll 20, whichever one you prefer.
Let's see. D20?
Mm-hmm. And it's
D20?
linked to
Oof.
wisdom if you're not trained.
I don't understand my character sheet. So I rolled an 8. My character sheet says 2 numbers. So remind me again.
Okay,
It's
it's probably the wisdom, and then if you're trained or not. Oh, it's not in this, unfortunately. Wow, the numbers are not correct in roll 20.
yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up. You're probably not at -4, right? How
I'm
does that
hoping
even
not.
happen? Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
What's-
know.
don't worry. I got -3 for charisma, so it can almost happen.
Hey, we can already start thinking of group names if you want, like the names or
The
something. I don't know.
truly disaster. The true disasters.
So what's your wisdom score, and also are you trained in insight?
I am not trained in insight, but I do believe by being a hill dwarf, I do get a modifier to wisdom.
That makes sense.
I think it's only a +1.
All right then. So let me. So you'll be at a total of 9 for your insight check. So you're sitting there, Rook's sitting there, Gex has been chatting, you're both drinking, and they both they've been chatting quite a bit, and then in walks a bunch of guards after the bar fight, and you're like, oh, they're gonna investigate, and Tien kind of runs interference with the guards so they don't notice the dead body that was being dragged into the back or the smoke from the fire, and Rook and Gex, they just get a little quiet, and you don't seem to pick up on any reason why that might be the case. But they seem chatty, and after a few minutes, you realize, oh, I just got free drinks because they were sitting here. And if you want it, you get a free room at the inn because apparently the innkeep owes Rook a favor. So,
Wow.
free drinks. I don't know how far in you are or not, but that happened.
That sounds like a great deal coming out of school. I'm not entirely sure how this happened, but I'm willing to take.
Nice happy accident. All right.
Nice.
So you're
Accident.
until we'll take a break and you can become one of those where that question mark person is. But at the moment, you're all drinking, and even Tillman kind of gets shoved over there by the innkeep while the guards are there. And then they've left, and they leave this notice, and the evening is yours. What does you're now alone, other than the innkeep and the cook and the cook's assistant in the back. Everyone else seems to be either unconscious from the bar fight or have made their way off to where they want to be. It's about probably 11 o'clock ish. It's dark. So what do you want to do, you guys?
Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but I can't do much without resting a little bit first. So
I wonder if, as a med school dropout, I feel like I am compelled to help you in some way.
hey man,
Perhaps I could heal you.
hey man, sure. Unless you got some potions, or I'm really hurting.
Let's see, what do I
Even
have
without
in
a
my
medicine
bag?
check, you look at him and you're like, he looks a bit like those cadavers they used to make you practice on. Like, he's rough.
Yeah, are you sure that's supposed to be like outside
no.
your body?
Definitely not supposed to be like this.
See, what do I
Alright.
got in here? I'm pulling out like rations, a hempen rope, hand
She's
axe.
the dwarf is
red
digging
rope.
through her backpack. She appears to be some kind of adventurer. Traveler type.
Man, I don't need no amputations. I'm just fucked up. There's difference. There's no gangrene.
He says
What is
while
a
popping an arm out of his shell.
I don't know. You look pretty green to me.
I'm just gonna assign Gex and just say, do you want to actually meet them tonight, or maybe let their blood settle down and maybe we speak to them tomorrow? Like,
I kind of feel like I'll just say I think Harnisa is going to be fine either way. I think Garrick's the only one who might need to chill out for a little bit, but he defers to her anyway, so I'm fine either way.
I mean, I'm up for meeting them tonight.
Yeah, I think
Or
the sooner we get the info, the better. You never know how many other people are going to be in competition to try to find what we're trying to find.
And then maybe we can check out at Telburn Keep this competition.
Now,
1,000 gold.
Telburn Keep is probably closed for the evening. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
those
tomorrow,
who are guests are welcome. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a conversation, right? So I think this, what can it hurt?
All right.
Nice.
So I think Gex and I are gonna have a quick conversation. Like, as much as
Yeah,
you know, Dave, Mr. Tillman. As much as you seem like a cool guy. Probably wouldn't be wise of us to take you with us when we have this conversation with these people.
He needs to have a nap.
You should probably just rest up. We'll check in on you because you're such a nice fellow. Yeah.
Righteous.
And nice meeting you, Hilda. Maybe you can,
Yeah,
spare some medical practices on this wanderer here, and we'll be right back. We're only going to be gone for a couple.
pulling out my chainmail, tinderbox. Yeah, I got it. I
think Gex and I are just gonna dude. All right, let's go meet the harbingers of boon.
All right.
And not fight.
Oh man.
So
Doing a pub crawl.
they're only about maybe 20 minutes ahead of you, maybe not even that long. So you could maybe even catch up with them before they get to the Swan. Do a history check for me, actually with advantage.
Oh,
Either
I'm
one of you
clicking.
or both,
Yeah.
and you would both have advantage.
Right.
You are from this town, or at least spent enough time here to know.
3.
15.
Sorry, say that again?
15?
15. All right. So you know the Swan that they're talking about. What is it? The Swan and the Jaws is the name of this place. It's kind of a two-part.
19.
Nice. Oh yeah. So how this works is Rook knows the Swan, which is kind of an upper establishment above, and then there's the Jaws, which is kind of a second, much seedier, much more dangerous place in the basement of the same establishment. So it's kind of one of those two-level places. One to be more official, the other to be really underground. And they run deep with a local thieves guild and internet. If you want to name the thieves guild, just pop the name into chat, because this is not those sparrows. This is the other thief guild.
Got guilds upon guilds going on here.
It's a guild town. Actually, there's a lot of different factions going on. I didn't even mention, but there are rumors that there's a mage tower somewhere within the city, which is ridiculous because it's probably like 500 feet tall. But if you're not invited, you can't see it. At least in this nearby area. somewhere, rumored to have been. It's like a not a very well kept secret. And then there's also the Inquisitors, who are pretty much anti-Mage Tower people, and they have a presence in town. You can actually, as you're walking through, you leave the inn. What was the name of the inn we were at? Oh, it was the Wild Buck. The Wild Buck. So you leave the Buck and you head out into the night. And as you're going, you see a crowd. It's 11. There's people out and about, especially as you move towards the slightly wealthier area. And you pass several of the guardsmen in their chainmail and blue tabards, but you also spot a small group of burgundy cloaked, just a small group of them, and the burgundy cloak is what makes them seem very unified. Probably about 4 or 5 of them, and you know enough that that's probably one of the Inquisitor subsects. So you steer clear of the law, and if you want to go somewhere else, you can.
No one expects the Inquisition.
I think we're just gonna mosey on down to the Jaws, the Swan in the Jaws, and
Yeah, I think let's go there.
Fair enough. So I want, I'm gonna go, can I get both of you to roll a percentile dice for me? Rook, you were both part of the Black Sparrows, but Steve, you're gonna be the not wonderful, and Rook, you're gonna be the wonderful. It's a roll-off.
What, 1d100?
Sure.
Oh God, 97. Is that good?
30. I don't know.
Well, 30 versus 97. We know who wins and who loses. Sorry. It's okay. We all win. So, I think you go into this place, into the Swan, and Rook, you haven't been very, you know the Swan, which is the more everyone's welcome kind of establishment. And you walk in, it's a bigger inn, better clientele generally, but it's pretty packed. They actually have a bard playing over in the corner, a small troupe, even with like some drummer and a little 3-piece going in the corner. And it's a pretty rowdy crowd. Like it's up there on a slightly raised platform and off to the far side of the inn. And you go on, I'll just drag you over. Here we go. So you go on inside, and this place is, or you see the outside rather. And, Tillman's not with you. I'll delete you, Tillman. So it is, I think, a 3-story place, and it's got an outer courtyard. It's also got an intersection, and nice big doors with 2 statues on the outside. On one side is the swan statue, and on the other side is another swan. But if you look closely, it's got these nasty, jagged teeth on the one on the right. And you head on inside. At the
just
door.
Follow Gex's lead.
Sure.
Since he's got the invite.
There's a big human, but probably like 400 pounds, like 6'2", 400-pound human sitting at the door, just kind of leaning on this stool just inside the stoop. And he looks you both up and down, and he starts to kind of starts to get up and be like, hey. Let me just roll a quick perception check. Hey. We don't want any trouble here. You. Any motions? Is there any visible, like, tattoos or marks that would indicate you're some kind of thieves guild? Is there a color scheme?
No. It's usually just gotta know the lingo. You know, occasionally there's a gesture.
Well,
yeah, I don't like to like have like thieves guild tattoo. I mean, for some reason
It's just like,
it attracts the
your
wrong
eyes.
kind of attention.
Oh,
People have
your
all this
valuables.
on their face. I'm like, no, I don't have that.
You, sir, pass the first test. All right. You're in the
Show
guild
me your
now.
valuables.
Do you have any visible guild tattoos? No? Then you're in the guild. The problem is, though, this guy named Tobias actually recognizes Gex. And as you walk up, Gex, you recognize him too. You know this guy's name. He's okay. The last time you saw Tobias, he was just running a bit of crowd interference as this absolute of a jerkwad, part of this other guild, which internet, I'm still waiting on the name. And by the way, players, you can make suggestions too, but we need an alternate guild of thieves. And there's this other little punk we're gonna call. So there's Tobias. He's muscle, but he's a teddy bear, right? But he very kindly once interrupted any constabulary from getting in between this other absolute jerkwad named Zik. And Zik is a dick. That's the very smart nickname for him. So Zik, Tobias is kind of one of those cool guys. Like, he would get along, except he's in tight with Zik, and Zik hates you for some, like, and anyone who's in the Black Sparrows. There was a thing. There was a
thing.
Right.
Hey, Gex. What you doing?
Well, yeah. Good to see you, Toby. It's been a little
Good to
while.
see you.
How'd it work out after that, unfortunate situation with, the others?
I think his blood sugar was low.
Well, it can happen to the best of us, I suppose. Listen, this is a friend of ours, and we have our delivery bag full of chickens to bring to the, into the rooster's nest. So, if you wouldn't mind, we have an appointment to keep with the lady of the house, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just me, that'd be cool. But Zik ain't here right now, so like,
we'll be in and out. You won't even feel it.
You won't even.
Can I get you to please roll a persuasion check for me?
What's that?
Gex.
Persuasion check.
Gex, please roll a persuasion check to see if you can talk your way in.
Rolling a persuasion.
Oh, I saw the roll 20 thing. I'm like, 30. How did you roll a 30? No, that was the D100. What did you roll?
2.
Okay.
Plus 1, so I got a 3. I mean, that's, on the scale, it's not as bad.
Look, it's not that I don't trust you. It's just that Zik said not to believe anything you ever said. I'm sorry, man.
Well,
sure.
If you had an invite,
I don't know the whole history. I don't know the history between Gex and Zik and you, my friend. But we actually do have a meeting with Arnessa and the Harbingers.
When you start to talk, Tobias looks over and his gaze passes over you for a second, then he tracks down and he finds you down there. And
Yeah,
you're just standing in front of this giant of a man.
Which is like, so I just, Gex is being very polite with what he's trying to say. We have a meeting with Arnessa.
And it takes Tobias a few seconds. You've got a medium passive insight, right? Or perception?
I got a pretty good passive insight. I got a passive insight of, is it intelligence or wisdom? Insight
Wisdom.
15.
Okay, that's
15.
That's quite good. So you get a read on him as he looks like he's trying to weigh like it. It seems like he's doing the bouncer thing, but really for free. You get the point. He's desperately trying to recall names. Hornessa?
In the Harbingers with Garrick.
Yeah, they
Backseat,
just got
yeah.
here.
Yeah, no.
Look. All right. You guys can come in. But
Backy, colorful, stripy, spotty.
yeah. Yeah,
Going
she,
with right now.
she just got here. Look, just keep it quick. We don't want any trouble. Like
You got
last
it.
time.
You got it, bro. Yeah.
All right.
I'll keep him out of trouble. I'll keep him from whatever that happened.
All right.
All right.
All right. So with that, you guys talked your way past.
I'll
the-
sign him cool, bro.
And he
With-
signs
with
back. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you got a spider on your arm. So yeah, so you guys go on inside, and if you're on the maps, I will reveal a new area as you enter.
And as we're going, I'll be like, "What was that all about? Who's sick and who did you beat him up?"
Well, no, maybe. I don't remember. It was a
You
while
could've
ago.
talked-
You were
could've
pretty
possibly just
intoxicated
walked
at
on
the
him.
time.
Yeah, I had kind of palmed, a couple of bottles of things I shouldn't have, and then I was worried about trying to get out with them because my pockets were kind of full of other things I had managed to, relieve people of. So I just decided, well, I might as well empty the bottles, and then, that happens occasionally. I didn't want to empty them on the floor. So
Even I get bored sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you guys are in this inn. The place is bumping. It is almost shoulder to shoulder. There's very few tables available. There's quite a few people standing. Lots of people up a couple of steps of stairs up and to the left. There's like a kind of a wraparound staircase, like a 3-step thing, but it's got an L, as you can see from the map. But I like to describe for our podcast listeners. There's a nicely appointed bar in the far back left corner, raised up there, and that place is like elbow to elbow. You can see this small little raised platform directly in front of the door. As part of the steps they go up, they kind of cordoned it off, and you can see the 3-piece the bar band sitting there. There's like a mando and a little drum and a little, like, I don't know, old fashioned budget bass, but actually sounds pretty good, and they keep singing and stuff. And there's people drinking and chatting. It's that whole atmosphere of like a lively pub that I miss so much. Sorry, too much real.
I know you're a better player than them. Yes, I know. Look, you're gonna get the info, and then we'll figure it out, right? Shh.
So Gex, you just caught a little of that, but you're like, it's pretty loud in here. It's hard to put together what that was. So you guys kind of push your way through, and you do a quick glance around, and after a few minutes, you see that this table, right, kind of in a pretty prime spot, just to the left of the door, but a little tucked in a corner before you go up the stairs. The table is now clear, as you see somebody kind of get shoved away from it and look back, and then you look up and you see the grimacing half-orc face of whatever the hell his name was, Garrick. Garrick is grimacing, and Hornessa is already slouching her, like, kind of just draping herself in one of the chairs. And it is all going down at this table right here. I'll drag them over in a minute. But yeah, that's where they're kind of setting up shop, as it were. And you do spot them in the crowd there. What do you want to do?
Kind of look at Gex. I'll be like, shall we?
I say we head on over. Before we go, though, have you ever pulled a rip deal?
Yeah, of course.
You pulled a rip deal? Or a pigeon drop?
It's been a while. Most of the time, over the past little bit, I was down in the catacombs, not pulling heists. I was doing the more dangerous searching, right, for the sparrows.
Yeah.
but I still know
Yeah.
how to do it.
Yeah. Okay. It may come in handy. May not be necessary. But
I'm just hoping, you know what? I just want to know who hired the sparrows, right? They weren't bankrolling themselves. Someone was hiring them to find those things down there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So I just want to find out who.
let's go see if she can answer those questions.
All right. So you make your way over to this ever-growing crowd on this map that I'm terrible at making.
As we
happen.
do, just I'll sign him. Like if we need to do like pigeon drop, then like just give me the sign.
All right. I do somewhere have a Tabaxi map, but that's whatever. We're good. All right. So you make your way through the crowd, press over towards them, and you find yourself standing in front of their table as they've now motioned over to a server who just there's about 5 servers kind of milling around in the room, but almost a couple behind the bar and then 2 or 3 wandering through the space. And they do spot Garrick and are already bringing over a bunch of, and he reaches up and just grabs the tray with a bunch of drinks. He's like, "These are mine now." And he puts them on the table. And you guys are standing right in front of them. What do you want to do? What do you want to say?
Oh, greetings. May we join you for a beverage?
Piss off.
I wasn't asking you.
And Hernessa kind of looks up. Well, I thought you'd track me down later, but fine.
Yeah, sometimes
Standing room
time
only.
is 60% of the time.
We have some time now. What is it you want?
Oh, first I'll introduce you to my friend Rook here.
Sign hi.
She signs back.
We've done a few things in the past and ran into each other when you kind of ran into us and realized you might be able to answer some questions for him. So I thought I'd see if I can't make the introduction.
Well, that's
We
very
recognize each. Does
chivalrous.
Harnessa and I recognize each other, by the way? Since we both kind of.
I don't know. Do you want to have recognized her?
I didn't think you did.
You were both in the Black
guess not.
Sparrows.
Yeah.
Let's treat this a little like high school. Like you would have been like a freshman when she was a senior. So like
Okay, fair.
you would recognize her, and she's
Yeah.
just looking at you like you're nothing.
Yeah, fair enough.
This is
Nice.
how I deal with my trauma. I just,
Okay.
just get this out of my system. Decades later.
I was sure.
So, I just say we both have run with the Black Sparrows.
Yes. I appreciate the irony. She licks her long, eye-sizer teeth. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a bit. They kind of fell on hard times,
I heard.
as you know. Obviously, when you were with them, you were a lot more senior than me. You knew all kinds of things. I'm offering a trade of some info. You may know who were probably bankrolling them when it comes to spelunking down into the catacombs. All those requests to go down there and find certain artifacts and relics for fencing. You tell me who bankrolled them, I'll tell you what happened.
Turg, be a dear. Get me, whatever they've got for fish. And Turg, the little halfling, who is a creepy freaking halfling, like a death cleric halfling. You saw him in action. Who's been sitting, you've been talking over the back of his head this whole time. And he gets up, he grumbles for a second, and then she kicks his chair, and he's like, hey. If you want to picture something, he looks a little like a grayscaled version of the old man from Up. and like in halfling size. Oh, yeah. All right, boss. And he gets out of the way and like intentionally tries to elbow you in the nuts as he tries to go past you. He makes it look a bit like he's trying to move his chair, but he's like elbow is high, trying to clip you. Let's just see. Let's see. I'm doubtful that a 14 hits your AC.
No.
Okay, you sidestep, and just kind of he goes past it. Fetch a cat of fish. And he goes wandering off through the group, very quickly gets lost in the crowd. And then Harnessa motions to the empty chair to you, Rook.
Okay. I'll like just, smoothly just take a seat. Slide in.
It's been a long time since I ran with the sparrows. I got out when things started going a bit south. Greener fields.
I see you've done well for yourself.
Oh, thank you. Let me share a little bit of advice, since you're an alum. You lean in, and she takes her hand and just kind of puts it over top of yours, just kind of on there. And she is gorgeous, by the way, like absolute gorgeous Catwoman, and and she smiles, and the cat-like slits of her eyes flash with just a second as she extends her claws into the back of your hand. Like
Sounds like
deep,
my foster cat.
deep.
Yeah.
You take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And she watches you as she does it. Can I get you to do either Constitution or Charisma? If you've got it, you can do Deception.
I could do Deception, or what do you mean, Persuasion?
It's to see how well you can cover. How do you take this when she claws at you?
Sure. I'll do a Deception roll.
All right.
Ooh. 16.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
All right. So you get the impression she's looking for a flinch or a weakness. This little slightly curled side of her lip. And what do you do?
Don't even breathe.
Literally.
Yeah, I don't even breathe. I just look at her, not even a breathe. I just kind of like, and just look at her, just dead gaze.
This freshman's showing off.
Here's my advice, alum, for old time's sake. I don't give away sources or former employers, even when it's done, because I'm a professional. And people who give that up to just anyone who walks in off the street, they don't last long in this business. No offense, but I don't know you, and I don't trust you. You've got guts, but I don't know if you can handle yourself. While this is going on, Gex, you've been looking at, you've been sitting across from Garrick, and there's this mangy old dog, all scarred up, sitting on the floor, like, at his feet. You know that that's not just a dog. You've seen it.
Mhm.
He's drinking. He reaches over to the ale that's right in front of you on the tray still, and picks it up. It is in a position where it would be yours, and he's like, Ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna respond to her now.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say, you know what? I can understand why you don't trust me. I'm gonna tell you what happened, and when I'm done telling you, you can then decide if you want to share a bit of info with me.
I'm all ears.
And so, we're both alum. You're more senior. I ran with them, and then I did the jobs down in the catacombs. And whoever was bankrolling them was looking for something, a specific set of artifacts. And I found one of them, and I brought it up, and I got intercepted. And the thing that intercepted me, that's what took out the entire district, along with most of the sparrows, and probably a whole bunch of your friends and my friends. So I'm not in doing this for some type of heist. I'm not in here doing this for some type of political game. I would just want to find out who's looking for this thing, because this thing just took out the Undertow and almost everyone in it.
Can I
I
get
don't know
you
if I
to
do
a
persuasion.
persuasion check with advantage?
Okay.
Nice.
First one, not good.
That's a 5. Oh,
19.
thank God for advantage.
Advantage.
All right. Like I said, I don't know you. But you're right. I had some friends. Fine. The sparrows worked for several people. A few of them I'm aware of. The one of the people hiring them to delve was a consortium. They went by various nicknames. The one they used the most was Internet? Eh? Hey Darcy, I see you there. Thanks for jumping in. Oh, tell you what, I'm gonna use what you said. The mayhem goes well, by the way. Thank you, Darcy. I'm talking to chat. But I will say this. Yes, the Mayhem Consortium. One of
They
the
certainly know how to cause some.
Mayhem Consortium would hire for certain relics. Some of the more difficult to reach. There was one man by the name of Pierre Turnbull. He arranged a lot of the agreements. You could check in with him.
Thank you. I won't, if I see him, I won't tell him where I got the name.
See that you don't. Well, bird boy. Careful who you play with. You might be out of your league here. And good luck to you.
Oh, thanks. Most definitely out of my league.
Now, get out of here before my cranky short friend gets back and wants his chair.
Will do. And I'm just
Uh,
gonna get up and politely exit.
As you're
Though
standing, Gex,
I'll check with Gex. Yeah, Gex.
Yeah, before we go, the guy that took my beer, how was he across the table from me?
Um, you're not actually
Our
sitting. Like there was only one available chair, and he's basically sitting comfortably in the chair in front of you, just kind of looking up at base. He's a big half orc, so he's not looking at your waist per se, but he's looking at your midsection and looking past, trying to see around the room and just take it all in. He's doing his level best to rudely pretend you don't exist.
So I'm gonna try a move. I'm gonna try to like pickpocket anything off him I can. And I'll
I
kind
mean,
of do it by like
that's
kind of
going to
do
be
it by
real
leaning
tough
over.
because he's literally looking
Yeah.
in your direction.
No, I know. I'll, I'll do it by kind of like leaning over and like dropping a silver in front of him. Like
Do I notice any of this? Like, what
hey,
are you gonna
You're
like?
this is happening while
Pat
you're
on the
mid
back.
conversation,
Oh, I'm in
just
conversation.
as
Go
it's
ahead.
wrapping up.
Go nuts.
All right,
if
so
I can
from
sleight of hand this.
yeah, so from your vantage point, Gex, I will give you this. Well, let's see how you do on your sleight of hand.
Go dice go. 19.
Woo! All right. He does get
19
advantage
squad.
basically because of positioning.
Trying so hard.
So he's sitting there and he's just kind of staring around you pointedly, trying to see the performers off on the stage over there. And he looks up at you as you kind of drop something at his feet, and he snarls, "What's the matter, Skinny?" And you kind of bend down, and as you bend down your hand, you do the reach behind. And you notice that he's got his giant axe strapped on his back, but he's got this leather strap, which has the little holder for it. So like on the back of the holder is this little leather loop that's usually there. You put the axe in, flick the loop over a little hook, and then the axe is held in place. So the easiest thing for you to do, the most accessible thing, would be to undo that loop, so that his axe would presumably fall out if he moved around too much. I don't know if you'll be able to get. You might be able to get. Now, another thing is there is a nice looking pin on the strap. It's actually holding the strap together, and it looks like it's kind of maybe even silver. Nice kind of embossed kind of leather band, and then the metal, possibly silver pin going through it, right over his left shoulder there. So do you want to go for the loop or the pin?
Does the pin look like it's decorative and something custom?
Yeah. It does look custom.
Because my point here isn't to actually take anything of value. It's just that later when he goes, "Where the fuck is that?" Well, I want him to be looking for something for a while. I don't really care about stealing anything valuable. So yeah, like if I can like do a little, oh, here's a silver for your beer, reach over the shoulder, snag the.
Yeah, you got to put your hand on his shoulder, like you're.
Yeah.
And you just deftly
I just lost my channel.
and just
Whoa,
take this
there you go.
this pretty long metal pin and just pop it out. It wiggles loose between your two fingers, and then you quickly put it down your sleeve.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks up at you. He's like, get your fucking hand off me. And he slaps your hand away, but doesn't appear to have noticed anything at this point.
Okay. And we'll just kind of nod at Harnessa and then start making our way out of there.
She gives you
feel
a
like-
smile and a
I think
nod.
there's something else you were interested in finding out from her, though.
Yeah?
Or was that it? I don't know. I'm asking my player brain if there was some other
No
thing.
problem.
Like,
I got what I wanted.
yeah. Anyway, okay, that's good. We'll leave.
All right, you kind of wind your way through the crowd on the way out, and you see Tobias give you a nod on as you walk past him. Take it easy, guys.
There's nothing else easy to steal on the way out, is there?
I mean, it's a crowded place. You can certainly try. Do a perception check for me.
Yeah, because I am rather klepto-ish when we get into crowds.
No.
Yeah, you gotta stay sharp. Perception. Well,
I mean, a lot of people here. I mean, when you go to a place that is known to be in with a thieves guild, you don't flash your cash, right? You're not going to be ostentatious about it. So there's not a lot on display. There's a couple of coin purses, but they don't look very full at a glance. You can read a coin purse at 1,000 yards. You're like, that's got 8 silver. And so there's not all that much that's tempting in here unless you just want to grab a knickknack or something.
it's kind of it. Like if it was like a stuffed animal off the wall, like.
Sure, you actually go by and there's this skull on the wall it looks like a rabbit skull, but it's got horns.
Oh, it's what was that?
A jackalope.
A jackalope. Yeah. It's a jackalope skull. I'll see if I can steal that.
Okay, you go to just quietly palm it as you go by, and you realize, oh, this thing's actually like attached. You're gonna need to like pry it with a dagger. So go ahead and roll. Let's go thieves' tools. Actually,
Thieves' tools.
it's crowded, and you see him stop there, Rook, and you pretty quickly get the idea of what he's up to.
Don't I get a bonus when I'm using thieves' tools?
It's proficiency.
Yeah, you get your proficiency.
Oh, so that just goes to my sleight of hand then.
Yeah, same. If you're trained in it.
What's my bonus? 6, so 21.
Wow. All right, you're just like,
Wow.
I'm on both ends of the spectrum today.
yoink! You've got yourself a jackalope skull. It's in your coat. The antlers sticking out just a little, but not much. All right, and you guys leave the Swan and the Jaws, and you can make your way back where you came, unless you want to go someplace else.
No, Telbrun keeps closed. I think we're gonna head back. Catch a
Should I?
little bit.
All right. Now,
So I kind of missed her answer to you, Rook. Who was responsible for?
So I mean, I'll be discreet when I kind of reveal like signing, right, with him.
yep,
Um,
it's like half-spoken sentences mixed within a couple of signs to keep
Yeah.
it untraceable.
just so that no one's like kind of eavesdropping on us.
Yeah.
But I do mention like the and to keep it to himself, the Mayhem Consortium and a name Pierre Turnbull as someone that was hiring the Sparrows to run jobs, delving down, and don't know the name, but probably can find out at some point.
Nice.
Consortium.
Mayhem Consortium.
All right. So I'm just fighting with
So
roll
gonna-
20 here, trying to get it to do what I want.
So when we can sort of speak a little more freely, what you thinking with all of that? Are you interested in this $1,000, 1,000 gold reward thing, or are you more interested in following up here?
I'm interested in both. I need the gold, and I want to find out what happened. Right? I want to find out this person. Like you saw what happened with the Undertow. I want to find out, like whatever they are after. It's some pretty serious shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you got a bit of mystery, you got a bit of cool artifacts maybe in that whole scenario, and then on the other hand, you got a dash for cash kind of situation.
And maybe this whole gauntlet thing will open up some doors too to find this person. Right? I don't know who this person is. They're probably running in wealthy circles, so I can't just start, tracking them down. So I think maybe one way to do it is to kind of get some attention and then mingle in some circles and
Mm.
figure out who this person is and who they're working for. I'm not looking to make too many waves. These guys are probably big leagues, but I'm not going to let this go.
Yeah. Well, I'm always down for an adventure.
And you could get cool money out of it. You can get
And
some
with
gold, maybe some cool artifacts.
We're gonna cut over to the wild buck. So,
That, my friend, is why you have to be careful where you put marshmallows.
Ah, I see. Wow, who knew the intricacies of, silly putty?
now just as a point of aesthetic order, Tihmily, I've dropped a bunch of minis down at the bottom. We didn't actually pick one for your person, so I don't know if you can
yeah.
see those. Do you have a preference as to which one would be for your dwarven paladin? And if you click your mouse on it, I should see the ping. These are the important questions, right, audience? Yeah.
Yes, these are definitely the important questions. I like this one.
Yeah? All right. So that is going to be your icon here. That's awesome. All right.
Woo.
Nice. All right. So while I get that setted, you feel free to talk amongst yourselves. I'll just get that set up here. So you've been talking about marshmallows. And in that time, are you going to do some magic on poor beat up old Dave Tillman, or are you going to just kind of bind his wounds, or what's the plan? You could do your lay on hands thing as well.
I will try to do my lay on hands. So I don't know how my character sheet.
Literally just say you spend it. I think you get 5 points per level. So how much do you want to drop? He's looking real rough.
So it says I have 5 lay on hands.
Oh, so I think at second level it starts. So you have 5 points that you can dole out.
Okay.
You can give them all 5. You can give them 4. Keep one in reserve. Whatever you like.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling pretty hopeless for our Tortle fan right now. So,
He got beat.
and my whole backpack has been emptied, and I'm like,
It's
wow,
strewn
I
across the
must have-
table.
I must have just forgotten my med kit back in my locker. So,
She gets 10 hit points, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's 5 times your paladin level. Yeah.
Nice. So you do have 10 you can dole out if you want to.
oh, okay. I lay my hands on our Tortle.
All right. So, Tillman, you're talking and just kind of nursing your drink and chewing on a mushroom, and she reaches for your face.
I was picturing like a
Oh.
hand on that shell, but like
Oh,
the
okay.
face is definitely a more interesting.
Well, he's
graph.
high
Like,
as. So, I mean, at first he sees this, and then it dives for the shell, and this warmth just radiates through the shell and into your shoulder and up your neck and down your torso, and you feel significantly better.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the mushrooms, dude, but I'm feeling jazzed up. Yeah.
I
could
love
be-
the
it
fact
could
that you
be
might
both.
actually not know.
It could- I think it's mostly the mushrooms. It's like I did it! Yeah! Look on that med school.
Take that, Mom. All right. Told you. The last guy you tried this on died, so this is a step in the right direction. You're proving yourself. Yay. All right, so unless you want to, feel free to go into more detail about your lives if you want, or we can have the other group rejoin.
How many hit points do I?
How many do you want to give them there, Hilda?
I was giving him 10.
Nice.
Righteous.
All right, so you're feeling significantly better. And you had your meal, and Tien walks by, and she stands next to you guys. The table just strewn with all of Hilda's gear. It's like,
So, I'm guessing you're staying the night. One night? One room? 2 rooms? What do you need?
2 rooms.
Done.
Thank
All
you.
right. And,
Our
do you think your
little
friends are
turtle
going to be coming back?
where are they, my
Are-
friends?
I was going to say, are you even... Okay.
Well, they've been gone for a while, but honestly, I got so sucked into the marshmallow talk that I don't even know how much time passed.
what's your passive perception for either of you? That's your
14.
perception 14? That's not bad.
Yep.
All right, all right, let me
Perception. Where is that?
it's
Oh,
your
6.
wisdom mod. Oh wow, that's pretty good. So 16 is your passive. So Tillman, you're a little bit messed up still from the healing and the whatever it is you're eating off your shell. But Hilda, you pick up that Tilda's kind of running a hand down her face like this in a kind of meaningful way, even if you don't make sense of exactly what it is.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, rooms 1 and 3 are available. Help yourselves. Here are the keys. And, if you see that little guy, the human dark cloak, I think he said his name, let him know we're square, but check out whenever you want.
Thank you. Thank you, Tien.
All right. So the rest of you are making your way back towards the inn of the Wild Buck, and we are going to pause for a little break. Stretch our legs, refresh our bevies, and when we come back, we will see where the adventure goes from here. All right, Internet, thanks very much. I'm going to let them go take a little breather, kick on some other music. I'd love to do like giveaways and stuff. Maybe I'll do that next time. Should I do a giveaway? I think I should. I don't have anything to give away right now, just my soul. But feel free to stick around, make some suggestions. I do need a name for the Thieves Guild that isn't cool with the Black Sparrows. So that's something to think about. And thanks very much, Abominable Scotsman. Thanks very much for jumping in. And hey, maybe you're responsible for the uptick in the British grabs on our podcast. So thanks very much. You're beating the US, or you were this morning. So thanks very much. I gave my soul a long. Yeah, I kind of did, Darcy. Wait, have you been reading my journal? That's okay. You can read my journal, Darcy. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes after a little break. Hey, yeah, do the work and give it a listen. We do podcasts as well, so you can check that out if you want to hear the backlog. But this is episode 2 of our brand new campaign, so far called The Balance, because reasons. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. Stick around. Let's say 15 minutes. See you in a bit. Whoop, wrong button. Yeah, well, this is the back. Be right back. Looks like end credits. That's going to be very confusing, but I like to give credit to the music. So that's our scroll. So stick around. We will be right back in 15 minutes. Actually, let's make it 14, just because. I don't know what that was. Hey, everybody. We are going to get back to our game. Thanks so much for joining us. We are live on YouTube and on Twitch, and we take viewer suggestions, so thanks for jumping in. And if this is your first time by, don't forget to show us some love. Give us the follow, or the click, or the sub, or the bell, or the... I can't even... I'm old. This is real gray. I'm too old for this. In the words of Murdoch.
I'm too old for this shit.
No, it's all good, though. I'm having a lot of fun, and thank you for joining in the fun. All right, so today we are playing some Dungeons and Dragons, and we're gonna jump right back in. I think we'll just pick up more or less where we left off, and we are back. I don't believe any nonsense happened unless you want to make it happen, party. So feel free to rejoin us as we dive back in at the Wild Buck Inn. Hi, everybody. So, did any of you want to cause any nonsense?
Nope.
It's a first. So Gex has come back, Rook has come back. You all have finish off a nightcap and then head off to your respective rooms. Because hey, free place, right?
Yes.
And in the process, you get a better look at your Hilda, the dwarf, and she now seems suddenly a lot more competent than she was just a little while ago. You were like, adventurer? She had like a 5 strength and like a 4 charisma. Like it wasn't good. No offense, but we have since fixed the mathematical problems. So I think you're a lot better now.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
It was all the marshmallow talk. The lay on hands gave
Yeah.
a lot of confidence there.
Verified things, yeah.
All right. So you spend an evening, locked doors in the inn. You don't know each other that well. I mean, Gex knows Rook, but otherwise, it's a bit of a quiet evening at the Murder Inn. And if you want to have a chat this morning, or you can chat in the do you want to chat in the morning or chat about what's next in the evening? It's up to you.
Well, Tilda has to start putting all of her stuff back into her knapsack. So as she's doing that, she turns to look at Gex and Rook and say, "So, how did it go? I don't actually know where you went." Or what that was about.
We just needed to swap some info, just with that rowdy group. One of them used to run with the same group we used to run with, and so we just wanted to kind of catch up.
You gotta pull your mic down.
We just wanted to catch up. Thanks.
Rook mumbles sometimes.
Mumbles, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But
His street name is
looking at that poster.
Sorry,
Looking at that poster, that seems interesting. Maybe we all chat about that tomorrow.
All right.
So
Sounds good.
Rook was pointing at a poster of a competition, which is called the Gauntlet. Prove yourself, gain a notoriety, or gain some fame, some money, and possibly even a trusted position within the city. So that is dangling there as a plot hook. Let's just call it what it is, if you want,
Yeah.
or we can go someplace else. You guys have a nice.
I'm going for it.
Tillman is
I wanna,
already asleep.
I am gonna go to my room.
Finish his yoga.
Do I get my own room?
Yeah, you have 4 rooms.
Cool. I'm gonna go to my room. Gonna lock the door. I'm gonna put a pillow underneath the blanket of the bed, and then I'm gonna sit in a corner with a weapon out, and I am going to spend the next 4 hours in a motionless state while conscious.
Oh,
Rocking
nice.
back and forth.
No, just a motionless state while conscious, listening to the jibber jabbering of my friends.
So Hilda made it up the stairs first, so she gets to pick the room that she wants first. Who wants the next? So she got a middle-sized room. The one down there is a decent-sized room as well that she didn't claim. There's a kind of a bigger room, and then there is a tiny hovel of a room.
Yeah, dibs on the largest bed.
Oh
I open up
think
the
I see
closet.
a King Street.
All right. So the smallest room sounds like it went to Tillman. So that's where you.
Really?
I think so. Rook and
Tortling.
Gex, I
Okay.
should say. And you're spending the night in a chair there, Rook. So there you go.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. There you go.
You spend the evening uninterrupted, and it seems like a fairly quiet thing. Early on, you hear the cook and the cook's assistant just kind of working away pretty early in the morning. Other than that, you can sleep late if you want to, and the day is yours. So eventually, you all wake and find your way back down to the tavern, and they have a pretty decent breakfast stew on the go. It's the same stew from the night before, but they, toast the bread.
They put one egg in it.
On our
The
on our
whole stew.
stroll between here and the Swan, would I have noticed anywhere interesting for breakfast? Like cafe whatever.
Yeah, I mean there are restaurants, so you could probably go and find one of those. Oh God, we're not playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're just fantasizing about being able to go out in public.
Some eggs and breaky.
This is
I'm basically.
This is breakfast and brunch, not Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm just kind of like, as I'm sitting and just for about, to get my long rest. And then I only really kind of get out when I start to hear the faint noises downstairs, like early morning. And then I'll get up and tell everyone to be quiet and then walk downstairs.
Nice. You hear
Well,
I
throughout the
will spend a
night.
hit die to replenish my hit points. I think I lost 3 total.
No, you can take the rest if you want to, or don't. It's up to you.
Oh, I took the rest.
Yeah,
took
so
the
you're
long
full
rest.
up. The magic of Dungeons and Dragons. I'll just nap it off. This sucking chest wound, I'll just nap it off. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you reconvene, and Gex takes you all out to a local brunch spot, and you have to there's some, this lovely half-orc family bouncing their little baby in the little thing in front of you in line, and there's 5 other people. Eventually, you get in, and find your way at this table, and Tillman, I want you to roll a Constitution check for me.
First roll of the night. Give me a second.
How did I allow that?
Okay, hold on. There's no Constitution.
That's that's not stellar. That's a 7. I also love
That is
the bit
correct.
of flair, by the way. There's Steve. I love the flair. That's canon. That's just something for the viewers. Yeah, there you go. All right, just not the listeners. We love our listeners. Anyway, so you got a 7. You're not sure which of the mushrooms it was, but you ate one that just wasn't ready yet, and so
Not
you are perpetually in a state, but this particular morning, that state is gassy. Sorry, maybe it was the beating turned up. Except it's got an echo to it because it's going through the shell. Give it again. So anyway, you maybe patio it or something, but you're sitting around. You have a nice breakfast. You can order what you want. It's gonna cost you let's say 3 silver because inflation hasn't hit them yet. So 3 silver for breakfast. So go ahead and take that off, and then and you guys can be chatting about what you want to do with the rest of your lives.
Well, it sounds like you guys have a pretty cool competition that you guys are joining in on. Fancy Paladin joining? I guess I am, in sort of some ways, already part of the gang since I'm here at brunch, but I just wanted to make sure.
Dave, this is the first time you've noticed Hilda all morning.
I am so small, of course. I stand at a whopping, was it 4'1"?
I just kind of
sign.
Sorry, 3'1", I think.
I just kind of signed Gex. I'm like, well, we could probably use the meat shield, and she, if she can heal, that's
Yeah, healer is always useful. And tortoise shells absorb bullets.
I love how the rest of you are all chatting, and these two are like. Also,
man,
I-
interpretive dance.
It's called.
Oh, let me join.
Again, this is going to be a sight gag, but Gordon, can I see your best impression of what you think meat shield looks like in Thieves' Cant?
It's just like.
Love it. All right. Descriptive audio. He waved his hand vaguely in front of his face and then drew it down across his body while making an Oompa Loompa kind of dance. There you
I
are.
don't know if that's racist.
I think it might be. No, well, I mean, from the movie, not. That doesn't make it any better. I'm so sorry.
Oh, man.
So I'm just kind of picking at my food, not really eating that much. But I'm like, so yeah. Anyways, maybe it's like fortuitous we all met. Maybe after this we go check out this Telborn Keep and find out what this competition's all about.
I'm down for that.
Cut to that. So, you have this grand illusion of going up to Telborn Keep, which is one of the more. It's on the edge of the Richie Rich area, but it's a private keep, pretty big actually, really quite fortified. And there's a drawbridge going in. It's almost always open. But you kind of pictured you'd go and present yourself to the grand. It's another line. It's a big long lineup, and you're just standing there and like
I got
everybody.
This, guys.
And the most nearby people are like, give you a look there, Tillman. It's like, it smells of the sea, and not in a good way. No, seriously, I've had pet turtles. It's not a good smell. Anyway, so you guys are standing in line for the better part of probably 2.5 hours, and you're getting the brunch rumbles, and then after a while you get let into the keep, and it opens up. You go through the entry gate, and there's the central courtyard, and you see a bunch of archer training stands over there and a drill station. There are professional soldiers that actually work here, but there's still kind of quite a lot of riffraff in the lines, and a couple of soldiers kind of patrolling back and forth, just trying to keep a bit of order. After a while, you get led into kind of a main hall. Beautiful place with stained glass windows extending up about 3 stories. And it's not super long or super huge, but it's grandiose for the scale of things. Probably about 120 feet long. You go walking in, and after a while you get led into kind of an inner chamber, and you see a man sitting there in kind of nice flowing bluish robes, very beautifully embroidered, and everyone's attending on him, and he's sitting at a table, just kind of busy eating lunch as he's motioning in the next group, and finally your group gets let in, and you've already had to talk to a bunch of squires and stuff, servant types, who've given the lowdown. They've asked you, all right, actually just outside the door. You kind of see him through the door, and just outside of this little eating area, this one steward is standing there. Yes. And what is your group's moniker? Every group needs a moniker. You're presenting for a prize fight. We're not going to introduce you as you and the smelly one. Should I just put down the smelly ones?
No.
No.
There's only one who's that. Maybe we're the four strangers.
Well, I was thinking the acquaintances.
The strangers is cooler, Gex. Like the four strangers.
Strange. How about the strange acquaintances?
I'm putting down the strange acquaintances.
Done.
Oh, done.
Because we might get a fifth, or we might lose one.
Yeah.
You all
Is that
pause
is that
and look at
forced?
the dwarf.
Yeah.
And then the strange. Yes. Fine. I've put you down as the strange acquaintances. You will have a brief interview, after which, if you are welcomed into our situation, then we will be meeting on the south field. Good luck and goodbye. So you wait a few more minutes, then eventually it's your turn, and the kind of bigger, heavier set, bearded guy, kind of quite a bit of a darker complexion, but he seems very hearty and hale. Like, he seems pretty jovial in a way, but right now he's not in a jovial mood. Like, he seems like someone who should be jovial, but instead at this particular moment he is bored by the tedium, and he's all right, next. Yes, come on in.
Hello.
And hello. And he puts his steak knife down. And so I trust that you understand that we are not to be held legally responsible for your damage or doom. Oh, sorry, I'm doing the other guy. That was the steward. He came in with you to introduce you.
Yeah. We understand.
They are the strange allegiances.
Acquaintances.
Acquaintances. The strange strange acquaintances. Well, that's fair. All right. You know your way around a sword? Someone?
The pointy end goes towards the other person, right?
That's right. All right.
Yep.
Just kind of like actually take out a dagger and just kind of do a bit of I don't know, flicker with it, acrobatics, I guess, or.
I like this. A little bit of showmanship. Always goes pretty. And he kind of pulls on the mustache part of his big beard. And goes a long way. A little bit of showmanship. So, do you always dress in black, or can we maybe get you something else?
You're thinking like a brighter color, so we could like be more noticeable and die.
It's good to stand out for some of these events. You seem to have his attention.
Okay, well, I can't say that I'm like the most adept at wardrobe, so open to suggestions on the finer things of what to wear.
I mean, at my med school, we wore our school shirts with a school logo on it. Is that sort of in the same vein as what you're discussing? Like we're wearing your logo as we go forth on this
Well,
venture?
we can talk about sponsorships later. This is just an entry round.
All right.
Now you understand that there is the chance of getting hurt. We haven't had a death in. He looks over at the steward, and the steward's like, 8 days, sir. 8 days. Yeah, so, like, more than a week.
Well, I request the brownest of browns.
All right.
Brownest brown you have.
Sure. We can brown you up, sir.
I pop a shroom and I'm like, I'm seeing all the colors I need, my friend.
And as you speak, this kind of blue robed, it's really fancy robe, gentleman with kind of flowing longer hair. He stands up and he kind of looks past you, past Gex, and looks at Dave Tillman, this Tortle, and he's like, I have not. Wow, it has been a while since I've seen one of your kind. Welcome. What's your name?
Yeah. Dave, man.
Dave's not here, man. I'm sorry. I had to. All right. Welcome. You're an interesting. And he takes in the towering Goliath, but you're kind of live. And then he looks out at the dwarf, who's in. What armor are you wearing, by the way, Hilda? Chainmail? 5 plate? What are you wearing?
Yeah, it's in my pack. It says chainmail, so I'm guessing it's
All
a
right.
chainmail.
Like, well, we can get you a nice shiny pauldron. And you. I'm thinking. He points at Rook. I'm thinking to go with your handiwork, maybe purple. Dark purple. What do you think? Trust me. Hold on. Wait right here.
What about blue? What about... okay.
He goes running around the corner, comes back with it is blue edged, and then a really almost midnight purple, like really dark.
Okay.
Would you be willing?
Sure.
Trust. And he gives you a nice
Trust
cloak.
is there.
He gives you this
Insight
cloak,
check.
takes your old tattered thing.
Insight check? Insight check?
Yeah, go for it.
What is my insight? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of
Internet.
want to get why.
While he
Why-
finds
why-
his insight, is this a regular cloak? It's up to you, Internet. It's up to you.
16.
All right. He seems like when you did a bit of a showy move, and he seems to like that. And there's something about you that is different than a regular person, and he seems to be picking up on that vibe as like, okay, this seems to be an interesting
Promising
group.
bunch.
You're a little bit
Promising
strange. And
And
That's
we're
our name?
acquaintances.
I see it now. Sir, and the steward interrupts and he's like, I'm sorry, sir, but I appreciate you went with the Gilded Guardsmen. Oh yes, I like their outfits. Well, you see, there's room for four teams, and if you choose this one, I'm afraid that's going to be 5. I'm sorry, I hate math. All right. What are you doing? When's the next one? That would be 4 weeks from next Thursday, sir.
Well, I know of a way to remedy this. You can
Yeah.
only have 4. There's 5. Why don't you just have a quick trial to take the top 4?
A challenge.
A
Challenge.
play-in tournament.
Like a
Challenge.
pre-gauntlet
Before the
gauntlet.
challenge.
A free gauntlet. My God,
Just
it's never
get
been done
things-
before.
Before we throw down the gauntlet,
Maybe
there's
it's
like
just the cloak talking.
another gauntlet. It's just the cloak talking.
All right, come with me. Steward, send away the others. And like half of the other people in the line, like, now most of them were like farmers and stuff. Like you probably just saved their lives. Yeah, just people
Helping
showing
people.
up the gold. So he's like, all right. The name is Greg. Sir, we talked about titles. Sorry. Look, you can call me Lord Turnbull. Now, if you come with me, and so
Yes, Lord
he.
Turnbull.
It's a small world, and I only prepare so much. Um, so, sorry, see him behind the screen. So he takes you through different parts of the keep, outside for one section, then back down, and you realize you're actually kind of, while this is on the edge of the richer section, it's closer to the kind of rundown section and a little bit off to one side of a cliff face, kind of off. It's if you were to keep going for another maybe half an hour, you would actually be at the undertow, and the ruins on the outskirts of the town. So this is fairly close to that, and it gets more remote as you go further out of town from here, in one particular direction. He leads you that way, and then he leads you into, not far from the main keep itself, to a small kind of chamber, and it leads down through these stairs and tunnels. And he says, "Oh, yeah, we had this installed for when it was raining. Come on." And he leads you down into an arena area. It's like, we've got another group training now, so you can maybe compete against them, and we'll see how it goes. Come on down. So he takes you down into the arena.
Okay.
For your trial run. So if we go jump over to Roll20, you can take a peek. Now, you don't see everything. Here, this is for the viewers. You guys saw everything. The players didn't see it all. And let me just drag. Where is Hilda here? Okay, I think
You
this
lost
will
the
work.
dwarf.
Yeah. Okay, good enough. So he takes you down and leads you to kind of what would be you can tell by the banners, and there's kind of pseudo silk and tapestries showing like advertisements and that sort of thing as you're going down, and you can see this would probably be one of the routes into the arena that a crowd would follow. It's a bit like a sports arena. You kind of go past all this, and after a while you go winding around to these tiered platforms, and the space opens up. Now it's not lit up right now. Well, it's not lit up right now, but you can imagine this place. It's a grand spectacle, one of the best in towns. Now, you can take a look around. Let's go in and see if the other group is here. So you can see Turnbull brings you past the what is essentially the stadium seating, and you can see these massive statues with these wings outstretched, like the guardians watching over the center competition area. And then there's after several tiers down, you can fit quite a lot of people on these tiers. They can be milling about, or chairs, but these platforms eventually give way to this chained barrier with these kind of barricade around, and then it drops off into a lower pit, and that pit is almost completely black right now, and none of the torches are lit. And Turnbull's kind of walking you through, and he calls out, let me just get the trainer. And after a few seconds, you see this other group comes walking out of a small kind of almost stadium entrance off to your left, that came in. And at that point, you see these three extremely able, four extremely able-looking people come walking out. And oh, good, you were getting the orientation. Strange acquaintances. These are the Gilded Guardsmen. And you see these. You see one person with like a crossbow, kind of like if you had to pick a class, it'd be like a ranger. And there's kind of this robed person, but they also carry a sword. older man with like hair pulled back, bald on top, but long hair pulled back on the sides, pulled back in his ponytail. And you see two men that are almost perfectly identical, and they're a bit younger, but they are strapping, and they are twins. And the crossbow ranger person approaches, and Turnbull says, it appears you've got some challengers already. Do you want to show them the ropes? We might use them now, we might use them in a few weeks, but would you care to show them what they're up against? It would be my pleasure. And this ranger guy has his crossbow, his big heavy crossbow in one hand, and he's looking at you, and he seems pretty competent. And you see the kind of robed guy in red robes with the bald spot and the long ponytail goes walking out the arena door, and after a few seconds you hear his voice call out from down below in the pit. Hey, I need some light. And Turnbull's like, yes. And these magical torches start to illuminate the massive arena. And what you see at first are the first thing you notice are these massive towers that stretch up from the ground, and they extend probably a good 40 feet up. The viewing spot from the audience is about maybe 40 feet above the base of this, the regular floor of this arena. And there's also some more ramshackle things. These are large stone pillars with these massive glowing flames that, they might be producing heat, but they turned on as soon as he clapped. So they seem to be magical in nature. And you can also see the ground of this arena is not uniform. Instead, there are these large, dark, gaping holes with these rickety wooden platforms dangling either by ropes or literally just placed, and you hope it doesn't fall off, over these large sections. As more and more of these lanterns illuminate, you see more and more of the arena below you. And at the far end, the first thing you notice is two massive glowing, as bright as the torches that illuminate the rest of the place, kind of a seat of honor. And Turnbull's like, yes, that's where the noblery go and sit over there, and their litters. But in front of that, you see this strange metal, almost like a barbed tree made out of iron, and it's rusted or bloody, just glinting. And at the top of it, a good 60, maybe 70 feet in the air, is this pinpoint of pure white light. Just goes and starts to glow. And there, you see your prize. Now, during the real competition, that is what you seek.
So Tillman is sketching furiously, and there's no book there.
But when you compete here at the Gauntlet, you are playing for money, for honor, but mostly you're playing to be known. So, if you're ready, if this doesn't turn you away, you're welcome to join the ranks of Turnbull's Gauntlet.
Sounds like fun.
Woo! Yeah.
At that, the twins kind of laugh. This almost, if a hyena was a human, kind of that sound. And it's this perfect stereo pair, and they leap backwards. They seem so live. They leap over. One of them lands on the actual chain barrier, and the other one goes kip kip and leaps up, and the one who's balancing on the chain barrier catches the foot of him and flings him very acrobatic style up and over his shoulder. He goes pinwheeling backwards and goes to land down in the middle of one of these wooden platforms and lands on his feet, and the whole rickety platform just bows, just almost breaking. You hear the creaking of wood as he lands in the middle of this pit, and it's extending into darkness below. And he laughs, and the ranger goes, "Say something for the ring." And so Turnbull turns to you and says, "Well, what do you think? Is it more than you bargained for, or are you still interested?"
Well, what's the object of the game now?
"Oh, I don't know. What do you think?" And it's like, "To the death." No. That would be bad for business. Well, there's different objectives. You could hold the small tower there, and you see this squat little rickety wooden building, kind of close to one of the flaming platforms. One of the pillars. They're 4 pillars that kind of illuminate the rest. They're pretty thick. They're like 20 feet diameter, and in this massive arena that's probably maybe 250 feet across, and again about half that wide, with all these arena seatings underneath. This, by the way, has the look. Actually, the dwarf, Hilda. This place doesn't look like a lot of this looks like it's been added after, like the rickety towers. The tall, illuminating platforms look much older stonework, and the whole place looks like it was built. And you're getting this for free. Actually, you know what? Roll a history check, but you have advantage because it's a dwarf and it's stonework.
Stonework, yeah. History check. 20 for the first roll.
Damn. Okay.
And
So this is
I don't
part
need-
of an ancient ruin that has been repurposed as a stadium. And for whatever reason, this guy seems to have staked it as his own and turned it into a bit of a side hustle or a main hustle. But yes, all the other things that have been added in, and you see these little casks and barrels scattered around, rickety wood, like crossing little bridges and stuff. You see some chains and ropes and banners kind of strung across. A couple of platforms, which might actually be little low kind of huts. Some of them have either wood or metal roofs. And then there's that big iron. You're not sure if that iron tree is original or if it was added after the fact. That one's the only thing you're not entirely certain. And then there's this glowing thing at the top of it. Rook, can I get a perception check, please?
Oakley dokley.
Oh boy. From the time that it illuminated, your eyes just keep going back to that pinpoint of star brightness that's on the very top of that, the iron tree. You've seen something like that before in your delving. There were, as you remember, maybe dozens of these, most of the time out of sight on the cavern roofs that you were crawling through, but you did get a good look at one of them. This appears to be something from the various sections below the city where you had once delved as a prize, or at least
It
a
was
target.
something when I was delving, it was a prize or a target?
No.
Like
At the
something
time,
that came-
you just noticed several of these. You were paid to get something else, but you know that it's from a similar ruin. And
Got
in
it.
this
Okay.
case, they're using it as a, and the kind of gregarious Tillman slaps you on the shoulder and pulls you in. He's like, Ah, I see. You've seen the star. That's what we're calling them. We try to get our hands on something that adds a little panache to the competition. So we're using that. So the first team to retrieve that safely gets to win the competition. It's a group of 4 coming in, and it's all kinds of mayhem.
So all 4
Sounds-
groups are in here all at the same time.
Why, yes. It's all kinds of... Well, sometimes we do heats. It depends on the crowd. We would sometimes try to draw it out. But, yes, we've had a grand battle before, a battle royale, as you will, with all 4. Or on a smaller night, we might just do teams of 2 teams, and teams of 4. 2 teams trying to compete to get that star. Or whatever it is. This time it's a star. We've used other things before. It's gotta be shiny.
Now, am I able to, from the stonework roll, be
Mhm.
able to perceive what kind of ruin this might have been in the past before it became?
With a 20, this was either... I mean, it could have been a kind of site of worship.
Mhm.
It could have also been a site of sacrifice. It might have been a grand hall. It's a little hard to tell from the stonework, but some of the carvings on the stone are cracked and interrupted by the various pits. But underneath the tree is a little clearer. You can't see it very well at a distance, but you can tell it's not as interrupted. And so there are etchings down underneath where that iron tree is that might give more of a clue as to the function of this room before.
Mm.
But it does appear to be pretty heavily damaged. And you look down and you see the twin kind of intentionally making the wooden thing bounce up and down. And Tillman just started notices that and he looks down and is like, "Oh,
Bowling.
what did I say? I said Tillman. Yeah. Actually, Tillman, you look down and you notice.
Turnbull.
No. Tillman looks down and sees him bouncing up and down. And do a perception check for me there, Tillman. Dave Tillman.
What the fuck, man?
That's a 6.
He is fucking high right now, I guess. He must be high.
High
Oh,
and
yeah.
sick.
You were just like,
Sick.
whoa.
Shiny light, man. Shiny light.
Wow. And
Fancy
you look
person.
down, and the guy bouncing up and down, you're just tuning out past him, and you're staring into the dark pit beneath him. You don't really react to this in the moment, but yeah, you kind of piece together what happened a few seconds after everyone else. Everyone else hears a cry.
Oh, well.
And you all look
and
down,
then-
and that twin that was bouncing, he's not there no more. The bridge is still there, but he's
Wow.
not. And you all kind of look, and then the guy who's literally been balancing on the chain, like maybe 20 feet in front of you, looks down at the cry and he's like, Paul? And he then starts to clamber down and drops down next to it. And Tillman's like, oh dear, oh no. And
Then there were 3.
and after a few seconds, you see the one guy. You see the kind of the guy dressed in the red robes. Oh, that shouldn't go.
Oh,
My
he's
layers are-
strong, man.
He's very
As he drags the map around. He goes scrambling to the edge of the bridge and looking over, and at that point, this hand comes, grabs onto the edge of the bridge, like reaches up, and gimme, and you see Paul dangling by one arm off this tiny bridge. He's like, it's got me, and they're like, and you're all just kind of taking this in, and the guy in the red grabs on, and the nimble twin jumps across, and they're both on this bridge that's swaying up and down, pulling on the twin, trying to get them out. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. That is there. So there's something in the pit, and they managed to pull this one guy up enough, and you can do a perception check for me.
Okay. All of us?
Sure.
That's 14.
Better than the 6.
14, 15. Oh, I should have said except Tillman, because Tillman's just like staring at something in the dark of the pit.
Alright.
22.
22. All right.
That's my
As
perception.
they're pulling on the twin, and there's yelling, and there's all this momentary drama happening below, and the rangers shouting orders, leaning over the railing near you, and they pull the twin up, and he's yelling in pain, and he slumps onto this sagging wooden platform, and they very quickly drag him off, and it looks like he's injured, like he's not able to stand as they drag him off. So he's still alive, but he does appear to be injured. Rook, you got a look. There was this sinuous, almost like tentacle-like, but almost entirely made of this translucent green substance that had been wrapped solidly around one of the legs of the twin that fell in.
Still
And
wrapped around him?
It was. As they pulled him
was.
away, it started stretching beyond its capacity. And you can see these like darker, sinuous green kind of veins kind of pulsing within it as it's trying to hold on to its prize. And they wrest it from, and it snaps. And his leg, and you all get a look at this now, except Tillman. You all get a look at his leg, and it ends below the knee.
Oh.
Oh, he got touched by Uncle Tentacles. That's not good.
Oh.
Well, fantastic. Looks like there's an opening. You're in.
I'm so glad that we had the opportunity
Wow.
to show you via our own merits that we should be in.
Well,
Hey, did we win? Did we win, man?
Tillman.
Patience is a virtue.
Awesome.
Wow, this is
and
wow. This
oop, and Turnbow kind of pulls, like slaps you all like on the shoulders. He's like, show business. Am I right? Now, who's hungry?
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man.
Brunch
I'm hungry.
was like 3 hours ago.
I just gotta watch it, man. 'Cause I got a little gas. You got something that's gonna give me gas, man?
Citrus. Eat some citrus.
Alright, I got you. Oh, citrus, yeah.
We do not give turtle care advice on the
As
stream.
you're guided away back towards what they call the green room, Tillman,
Why'd they call it that?
uh,
Oh, he's
Tillman,
not dumb, he's not dumb.
no, you didn't see the twin because you saw what was beneath. There is almost translucent liquid in at least that pool, resting probably 20 feet below the surface. Ever so slight movement to it is what triggered you. It reminded you of being on the ocean. But the waves kind of moved at their own pace, some of it at different speeds. There's something not quite... I don't know. There's something in that pit that's very water-like, but not. It was fascinating, Bran. It was really cool, bro.
Yeah,
And that
man.
tentacle came out of it. All right.
All right. What can I roll to figure out if I know what it is?
Do you have, let's say, nature or maybe arcana?
All right, not proficient in both, but I'll try, man. Nature.
I'm a student of the world.
No. Obviously has not seen the world.
Well, that's a 3.
It looks like a jellyfish to you, maybe.
Yeah. I know not to touch it, though.
You know not to touch it. All right. So let me ask you, we've got about half hour before a hard stop regardless. We can keep going, or we could stop and do this next time. It's up to you, players. Not up to you this time, Internet. This is actually up to players.
I mean, I can keep going for a bit. If the other
Yeah.
people are.
All right. Let's keep going. It does mean we may need to stop at a slightly non-story point, but that's okay. So I'll just do this.
I thought
And
we were
then
gonna have to do a trial, and then like
this,
that ended
and then
early.
yeah, we'll go back to the regular
The
stream.
trial
That's so I
and-
can find it in editing later. All right. So anyway, you go. You have a lovely lunch. You have access to some basic equipment if you wanted to gather any standard weapons or armor on loan. But it's essentially like a very nice gladiatorial kind of pre-show thing. And it's going to be coming up a little bit later on this afternoon is the actual challenge. And you are now one of 4 teams.
We just basically have to get the light.
Just get
Yeah.
the light. How hard is that?
Any ideas on strategy?
I'm trying to think about like, since I've seen it before, do I know like if there's any danger to them? Like if you touch it, does it burn you, or did I never get close to them?
You definitely got close to one of those little star pieces. It was usually some kind of gem, and it was etched with arcane symbols. So it was definitely mostly man-made, although several of them were embedded in ceilings. So it's a bit, I mean, maybe things got really turned around in the ruins, or maybe the ruins are so old that a lot of the natural dirt has reclaimed it. It's hard to tell. Or maybe somebody put them up there after the fact. The other thing about them is that you didn't touch one yourself, but one of your companions touched one, kind of climbed up to pry it out, and it didn't harm them, but they kind of stood staring at it for a while after they got their hands on it, and then kind of got shaken out of it and then pocketed it. You didn't see it again, but you were being paid to see a particular other thing. But you've seen one of these arcane stars before.
So I'm going to relay what I know to the other people. Just going to say, you know, when I delved, this looks like one of the glowing gems down there. I know someone touched it and it kind of mesmerized them, but that's about it. So
And I guess this would be a good time for Hilda to interject about what she perceived of the stonework.
Absolutely.
This is well, from what I can see, yeah, that makes total sense, because this place, I could tell from the stonework that it is used to be a ruin. I can't quite read the runes and the symbols that were closer to us, but definitely there's a spot by the metal tree that looks undisturbed and together. So if we make it to the tree, we can definitely take a look-see and see whether or not this was a place of worship or a place of sacrifice.
ooh, well, okay.
Let-
Right.
Very deep
Interesting.
shit.
We should talk about, like, we've never actually thrown
What?
down together.
Yeah.
Being as we're just recent acquaintances, I think
Just
that,
kidding.
we haven't had really much time to practice, but I'm thinking we can either sit back and let other people kind of start taking each other out and we kind of pick them off,
Mhm.
or we kind of make a rush for it, which is more risky. Like a quick win. I don't know, Gex, what do you think?
I think equal parts both. To be honest, like, I've got a size advantage, I'm going to assume, and there's some getting up high that's involved. I kind of feel like, if I throw a rope over one of those highest limbs and then let the other end come down and, maybe attach Hilda to the other end and just pull her on up, it's just a matter of getting from here to there. I think if maybe the two of us go for it and you two guys kind of like get all stabby
That's the technical term.
around
Stab
each
stab.
other.
And you know what, guys? I can give you the blessing of the moon goddess, help you guys out.
But just promise me, Dave Tillman, that you will let off on the drugs between now and then.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
What has there been some previous examples that Dave is going to be okay holding his own with the stabby stab?
I can stab a stab.
You can stab.
Yeah,
I mean,
we saw him.
He's
go
the
up
only
against
one
three
you saw in
guys.
a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lost it mostly.
It was
Hey,
sweet.
man, it was 3 to
There
1.
was a
Didn't
dodge.
see you lifting a finger.
No, I was placing bets.
There you go.
So,
I'm
as you
good,
guys,
man. I'm good.
as you guys are planning and starting to devolve into some like mild friction, you hear a fairly familiar voice in the green room call out, "Lyle, ain't that taking my ass?" You look over and you hear the very familiar voice of Garrick, the half orc.
He just goes everywhere.
In walks the little annoying halfling Turg, the dog padding along beside him, and Harnessa comes strolling in a few seconds later, looking around the room, and their eyes finally lock onto you there. And she gives this little half smile. Well. I guess competition is not very stiff tonight, boys.
Hey, I see you brought reinforcements this time. Nice job.
And Garrick looks at Tillman and just like, all right.
Yeah, you don't have to bully anybody this time. We're all here, man.
We
I thought they were.
We're gonna jump
say-
ahead a little in time.
yeah.
The first thing you notice when you're going down this back corridor, leading out to the actual arena, is the sound. You hear this low rumble, and then as you get closer, you realize those are voices, many voices, all calling, some of them cheering. It is loud in this room. As you walk out into the space, it's reverberating with sound. It's quite a tall, open underground space, but it is around the outside are now arrayed many people. Now some of you might have who've lived in the town for a while might have come to something like this, but the price to get in is mediumly high. So if you weren't that successful before, you may not have been able to afford coming in. You look around the space and you see 4 groups of 4, all kind of standing about, kind of getting ready. Some of them kind of stretching and limbering up. You are not too far from the entrance where you came in with Turnbull, but almost 40 feet below on the surface as you walk out and kind of take your starting position. There's a couple of teams, the returning champions, and in this corner, it's not actually a corner though, but some people have a slightly further in position than you, but off to the sides, there are 2 teams, one on the north end and one on the south. And then there's a team almost directly across from you, from the pit, where that one of the twins had fallen in. And it looks like they may have done some reinforcing of structures here, but it all looks pretty much the same as when you left. So you find yourself standing just on the north side of that small 20 foot by 60, well, 20 by 30 foot pit maybe, where the twin had fallen in with the rickety bridges. Off to your right, you see the 4 very tall towers with the lights, and then the rickety wooden tower kind of haphazardly kind of constructed partially in between those 4 the 4 illuminating towers. You look around and now you're noticing they're kind of hidden from above, as though they're kind of almost like dragon scales. You can't notice them from a certain angle very much, but from below you see these very old metallic spikes built into the walls. Let's just say discouraging climbing. But they are very old. They're part of the original work. And so some of them are missing in places. There are gaps, but they look like they might... You kind of glance to the one immediately to your right, surrounding that one pillar. And those spikes do look very old, but still very sharp. But there are gaps in the placement. So if you ever wanted to climb these walls, it's possible. But the rather sharp spikes would discourage that kind of thing. And that looks like it was part of the original design for some reason.
And where's Garrick and Harness's team? Are they across from us, or are they in more?
They're further in. They seem to have been given a slightly preferential placement. They are directly south, just east of center. So just a little bit kitty corner from you, if you will.
Oh, yeah, I see them.
These spikes are sort of suggesting that the original purpose of this ruin is of a certain type.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see spikes being in a place of worship. That's all.
Maybe you worship the spikes.
Added later, though.
Maybe worship the spike.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you should probably leave if you're boy and girl. This could get messy. Just kidding. Now, welcome one and all to the Gauntlet. Here, teams will compete for glory. Gold! You look up and you see Turnbull speaking into this large speaking cone on the far end, on the kind of directly opposite, almost where he'd shown you the original place, but directly opposite of the most wealthy of the seats. And you cast your eyes to the far end of the platform, and it's thronged with various very well-to-do looking people. Yeah, that spot. Yeah. And Turnbull continues speaking. Now, it does seem like his voice is also magically amplified. And now, the teams all know, the first to the star, win it, and with it, our prize and appreciation. And there's a loud cry of cheers. And the teams that don't make it, well, maybe they can try again, lick their wounds, and live to fight another day. And then he kind of half lowers the speaking cone and says, Almost like he didn't mean to say it through the cone, but it picks it up enough. He's like, "Mm, probably. All right. So I'm going to start this off by saying, can you roll initiative, please?
Let's do
Hold on.
it.
Oh,
Before we do that,
before-
can
Oh,
I
yeah.
roll a perception just to kind of like see what people's weapon carrying situation is?
Absolutely. You're
And I'll
eyeballing
do
the team.
something-
In the meantime, please roll initiative.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. So, as one of my abilities, so I'll just return the favor and touch her face with a vigilant blessing that gives her advantage on next initiative roll.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Love it.
Is it just like a +1 to the initiative?
You
You
have
get to roll
advantage on your initiative. You get to roll twice, take the better one. Oh, Twilight Clerics. Tortle Twilight Cleric. Try saying that 5 times fast.
I had a -1 to initiative and I got a 17.
Wow. All right, I should write these down. All right, I'm working. All right.
Yeah, I got a 17 for my initiative, even with both my rolls are 16.
Out of
All
20.
right, what's your dex there, Tillman?
My dex is -1 is well, I got told like 9 is the stat.
And
Minus
how
1
about
is
you,
the
Hilda? I think everything's above 11 for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get to go first.
Okay.
All right. And who else is in this? Ooh, how'd you do, Rook?
20.
20 for Rook. Nice, nice, nice. All right.
Pretty small.
And Gex?
21.
Nice. All right. And I just need to do 2 other rolls. Woo! All right. Okay. So top of the order, Gex. You're taking a look around. You're scouting out the rest of the people out there as you're all just kind of standing, suddenly feeling all the eyes of the crowd on you. Directly to your right, on the north side of the stadium, there's kind of a motley crew there. One, you're not sure if she's half orc or something, but she's very large. There's a woman. She's carrying like a scimitar blade, some armors, mostly hides and leathers, and she's almost 1.5 times the size of your average human. But she does appear to be human, except for maybe her nose has some kind of animalistic nature to it. If you had to guess, maybe a furbolg, a fairly big furbolg. Then a piratey looking woman carrying a sword. You see a halfling carrying some kind of mace, and you see a half elf woman with like a scepter, and she's holding some kind of scepter and wearing no armor per se. Directly across from you, you see the people from them on the south side. You see Garrick the half orc, all done up with his armor and his massive thing, a new pin in his shoulder. You kind of grin about that. It's just a straight iron pin. It's boring. Not like the little silver pin you have. By the way, what did you do with that?
Oh, it's on me somewhere.
Yeah. Dude, look at that. All right.
No, I mean like hidden. It's not.
Oh, you're not showing it off?
No, not right now.
All right. You see Harnessa, who's in leathers and form-fitting leathers, and her tail twitching excitedly as she kind of gets ready and flips a dagger through her feline fingers. You also see Turg just standing there with this oversized, it's like a quarterstaff or staff for a human, and he's a halfling, and he's just like holding it anyway, just standing there, just taking it all in. And then there's a large dog, but those of you who've seen him before, you know that the dog is actually a dwarf named Krell, and you've seen them before. The other group which is almost directly across this smaller pit from you, there is a large Goliath on that team. They seem to be eyeballing you guys. There's a kind of a shorter a human and kind of fancier dressed with like plumed sleeves. There's an older gentleman, bearded gentleman with like double hand axes, and then there's this wood elf woman carrying like a slightly bizarre looking scimitar directly across from me. Exactly. And the Goliath is holding this massive two-headed axe. And they're kind of taking it in, but they've definitely seemed to have taken a bit of a notice in your group. All right. Gex, you get the perception check off just prior to your initiative roll, so you do still have an action if you want.
Well, I will start moving counterclockwise around the outside towards that group up at the north, and I'll just say to Hilda, let's go, as we go.
All right, so you
All
duck
right.
behind the pillar that's holding those light shadows, sticking to the shadows almost instinctively.
Yeah.
And how close do you want to get? You could probably get
I
another
understood.
10 or 15 feet. There are some casks and barrels, and there are two pits. One now, not the original pit you saw, but more central, which is quite a bit wider, almost cutting the entire arena in half, except for small walking platforms that are only about 10 feet on the north side and again on the south. There are a couple rickety built bridges, one that's definitely seen better days across the middle, and a short one, just like a short kitty corner kind of jump across. There's also some barrels and some debris. You've got about
And while
maybe
I'm
15 feet left.
Yeah, and as I'm heading that way, I'm kind of observing what they're doing. Are they focusing on people or the objective?
They seem to be focusing on the group directly across from them, which is Garrick and Hernessa and Turg.
So it seems to me like everybody wants to kind of like fight it out first, and then go for the gold afterwards.
It definitely looks like it's a little crowded in here.
Well, I think it's time to do
Been the herd.
All right. You do have cover, or possibly hiding behind that pillar. That group doesn't appear to have noticed you, maybe? Maybe not? Let's see. You're not
Okay, well-
actively hiding, but you could if you want to spend the bonus.
No, I will just try to shoot an arrow into someone's head.
Yeah, but you're a rogue, so if you hide, that does good things.
Oh yeah, well I'll do
With
it
an
from
advantage.
the most high D position I can, right, with the cover of that pole.
Sure. So you
Yeah.
just eke around, poke out just the last second, and let it loose. Go ahead and make a roll.
Short bow.
And who do you want to target? You've got the Furbolg woman. You've got the halfling with the mace. You've got the piratey-looking human, or you've got the half-elf rogue person.
I am going to do it strategically. I'm going to target the farthest one away in the group, so that ideally his ability to see it coming is obstructed by the others in front of him.
Sure
And
thing.
so even if they dodge, he's less likely to dodge.
That's going to be the Furbolg woman or the halfling. Either one.
So what am I rolling here?
A D20. And add your dex mod and your proficiency.
What is my proficiency? What skill is it then?
Where proficiency is only +2. It's just a standard attack.
Okay, yeah. And my dex mod +3, 17, and my proficiency is 2, so 19.
That's gonna hit. Absolutely.
And then the damage of that thing is...
Arrow. Makes
is
it just threads between. Sorry, you going after the halfling or the Furbolg?
So whoever's farthest away.
That'd be the Furbolg.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said. 1d6 plus 3 for damage. Ooh, I rolled a 6. Plus 3 is 9.
All right, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
What you get? Do you get? Were you doing it
Oh,
from stealth?
yeah, sneak attack.
Yeah.
So roll
Sneak attack.
a d6 as well, or is it 2d6 at level 2?
1d6.
1d6 at level 2.
So
We're still
add
on level
4
2
to-
right now.
Add 4 to that.
Too bad that I'm not first in it. That could have given a bless and
Blessing of violence.
Um,
That was mean of me to know, but hey.
Absolutely. And she takes it like in the side of the neck and just falls to her knees, just gasping. And the halfling behind her goes, "Oh, Sarah!" and goes running over to her to try to help her. All right, coming up, that's your turn. You're pretty much out of movement. You can duck behind cover. You have enough to get back if you want to.
I'll stay. It looks like where I am, no one has a good shot at me except for maybe the people I just shot at. So
Yeah.
kind of chill
so
there.
If you step back a little, you will have more cover.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
No,
And you have
they-
just enough movement to do that. Coming up next, Rook. What do you want to do?
Muted.
The
Yeah.
suspense was killing me.
The suspense, killing.
Hand motions if you can be silent.
I want to find a place to find a place to hide and shoot. Can I go north? Like, what are these spikes on the wall?
I mean, you could try to tuck in amongst them, and it's very shadowy there. So you could try there. You could also go for the tower. The bottom of it does have lots of like pillars and stuff. And
It's
even
also
some,
near the fight, though.
It is near the fight. Yeah, you could go for the spikes if you want to, or there's the barrels and just beyond that one group. Are you focusing on the north side as well, or the south?
Yeah, I'm focusing on the team to the north.
All right, so you kind of cozy right in there underneath this, like, almost 50 feet above you, this massive statue of something that looks like it's not an angel, but it's angel-esque. It's a woman with wings, but there's something weird about this. There's something about the proportions of the face. You don't have time for that. All right, focus, bro. Focus.
Focus.
So go ahead and,
Good to
and
take out
roll your stealth.
Roll my stealth. Uh, 24.
Oh, you feel pretty confident that you're hidden.
Okay. And I'm going to take out stealthily my short bow, line it up against. What was it a half elf with like the scepter near the bridge?
Yeah, the half elf woman is her. So she's got a robes on and some kind of staff or like short staff, like a rod or something arcane looking.
Okay. I'm going to shoot her.
All right.
Guess with
Take your shot.
advantage. Unless she sees me.
She does not appear to have seen you.
Okay. Uh, 25.
That'll hit. Quite soundly.
Okay, and so she'll take and she'll take 12.
Ooh. So she reaches out. She was in the middle of you know she's a caster because her one hand just burst into this sparkling kind of light. And she reaches up, holding it aloft, and the arrow just it digs in just underneath her outstretched arm, right in the rib cage, and just definitely gets her right in the lung. And she's just like and falls to her knees. Two of them are having a hard time. She actually falls right over onto. She doesn't fall into the pit, but thankfully that bridge thing, she falls onto it and she's down. But as she's falling, she releases what she was casting, and this streak of flame just goes. It's a firebolt spell, goes flying down this way, but it misses the original target. Originally, it was probably intended to be Harnessa or that group, but instead it misses badly. Just nicks the tower as it goes past, this little wooden tower, and slams into this cask of barrels in that section. And there's this like dull thunk as it hits them, and this little splash of flame for a second. By the way, that half elf, she's down. She's down. You don't need to worry about her anymore.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Dang,
that was painful. All right. Next, do you want to do anything else? You have a little bit of movement left, or you can just stay put.
I'm basically gonna be staying put for now, just in the shadows here. Like, I know I've revealed myself, but want to make sure I have like range.
All right. Coming up next, Hilda.
Mm-hmm.
You all rolled pretty good. Oh wait, sorry. Just before Hilda goes, Garrick's team, Harnessa just hisses and makes a motion, and Turg starts chanting and clocks down his staff. Krell turns into a he's in dog form, so he just goes running up, and that elven, the wood elf woman, turns just in time as the dog just leaps on her. She's just busy trying to get it. Turg is busy casting, and Harnessa and Garrick, start sprinting off to the left, right about here, and they get kind of even with the far, tall, flaming pillar that's illuminating all of this, just past that main central gap, which we'll call it the gap, and that's about as far as they get in that, as they're kind of ducking for cover and trying not to get hit. So they're actually taking the dodge action. All right, coming up next, the group just below you. Actually, sorry, the group up here that you've been laying into, the northern group. The halfling kind of gets his hands on the furbolg, and there's this blue pale flash of light. Look at a glance, maybe some kind of healing. So she kind of and stands up. The arrow that had got her kind of broken off, but the wound is not bleeding as badly as it was. And the pirate-looking woman runs over and grabs the fallen half-elf and drags her back away from the edge of the pit. And looks like she's doing something like reaching in her bag and pulling something out. And that's what you get. And the furbolg looks up over at you, and just now you didn't have a chance to hide, so Gex, your head is still kind of poking out, and she spots you, and she raises her her scimitar, and she does this, and I need you to do a dexterity saving throw. Actually, I also need Hilda to also make a dexterity saving throw, and that's it. The effect ends just at you.
Oof. 6.
Hilda, you fail. How'd you do, Gex?
Yeah.
17.
You succeed. So you duck back just in time as these out of the floor, these vines just grow at pretty natural speed, and try to entangle you, and you're just like, whoa. You step back and kind of manage to avoid the worst of it, so you can still move just fine. It'll be difficult terrain, but you're not caught up. Hilda, however, did not see it coming, and both of your legs just these really thick vines wind their way up both legs, so you are considered restrained. So you can't actually move right now. You still get a turn. You can still do stuff, but you are restrained, so you're not able to move unless you can free yourself.
Okay.
All right. That is that. Now it is Hilda's turn.
Oh. What are my Can I make a saving throw or some sort of check?
You can
to
spend
get
an
out?
action to try and free yourself, if I'm remembering the spell correctly. I might be messing that up.
Okay.
I think you can spend an action to try to free yourself. Or maybe it's at the end of your
Mm-hmm.
turn. Okay, I'll look it up. Just one sec. It's the Entangle spell. Interweebs? Any help here? Entangle.
Or I do have with me.
Oh, you'd have to
I
spend your
think-
action to try to get out. It's a strength check.
Strength check. Okay.
But it would burn your action for the turn. You can't move. You could cast, you can attack anything within range, but you can't move unless you free yourself.
Dude, let's see. What is this? No. Okay, I don't have any real spells to work on, so let me just try
Level 2.
untangle myself.
Sure. Do a strength save, please.
Come on. 13.
And you're probably proficient at this. So what's your strength score? Your bonus?
My strength bonus. I don't know. I just put down 14 as my base roll.
Oh, that'll be +2. So add 2 to that, and we'll consider it as a safe proficient, I think, for paladins. It's old school. I don't
Uh-huh.
have it all in front of me. So I'm going to say add 4 to that.
Add 4 to. Okay. So it's
To whatever
more
it is
of
you
an 8.
roll. How much?
So I rolled a 14. I add 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 18.
So
That is enough.
18.
What kind of weapon do you carry, by the way? Axe, hammer, sword?
I carry a battle axe and a war hammer.
Nice. Well, the battle axe makes short work of the vines. So you're just like pull, 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 and you are free to move. So you can move up to 30 feet. So that's 6 squares. So where do you want to be?
Not really able to get to anybody within 6 squares, right?
You can do the diagonal. You could, if you're careful, you could get as far as this little tower that I just inadvertently moved as it shuddered.
Oh god, it's a mimic.
Oh, God, a mimic watchtower.
Oh,
That's
no.
terrifying.
Oh, no.
I love it.
Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3. Do I have to make a jump over this little crevice here?
Sure, make an acrobatics or athletics check if you're going that way.
All right, I will.
I think you can move this.
Tower on fire?
It got grazed. The fire actually hit this little pile of barrels below here. Again,
Okay.
I'm slightly moving everything. So
I will make an acrobatics check.
the DC's pretty low. It's like a 2-foot gap. You could pretty easily leap over it. But if you roll crap, it might complicate things.
Yeah, it's a 13.
Oh yeah, you make that leap, no problem. It's a tiny little, like 2.5 foot, 3-foot gap. You got short legs, but you clear it, no problem. And you get to the base of that tower, which does provide you a little bit of cover from that side, but not from directly south of you. As you walk into view of that Goliath group, you're like,
Uh-huh.
All right, that's your turn. Coming up next, Tillman.
Alright, I'm gonna move closer here so that it's 30 feet, everybody, and I cast Bless.
Nice. Out of curiosity,
So-
what does that sound or look like?
Is it more
Um,
face?
More like I'd say around like purple stars
Nice.
just appearing around each target. So yeah.
Nice.
Pretty much.
I like it.
So,
And there's this kind of
so
low,
whenever you make a
and then other
Yeah.
goes. So everybody gets a
So-
bless.
So you make an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends and lasts for a minute. Target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack roll or saving throw.
Nice. I'm gonna throw a purple tag on your character just to remind myself you're concentrating. All right.
Mhm.
That is your turn. It is difficult terrain where you are, but that might slow others from getting at you. So that's kind of good news,
Woo!
at least for now. All right. Just below Tillman, the group just south of where you are, the double hatchet guy sees Hilda running over. He's like, "Hey!" And he motions towards the others and then begins to move around. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So he gets right up in Hilda's
In my
face
face.
as he goes running forward. He's like, "Sorry," and he takes a swing at you.
Wait, why sorry? Sorry, why?
It's just money. No offense. He takes a swing. Does a 20 hit your AC? Eek.
Oof, yes.
All right, you're gonna take only 6 points of slashing damage.
Oof. Wow. I think I'm bloodied.
And then he swings again with his offhand, but he doesn't get a modifier for this, so I don't think a 14 hits your AC.
No.
All right, so you block that off your. Do you have a shield?
I do not. It is a battle axe and a warhammer.
Oh right, you duel. All right, so it bounces off your elbow, which the chainmail takes it. You're fine. All right, coming up next, this little kind of human person goes running out on the middle of the platform, on the stairs. Not the stairs, the bridge where you saw the acrobat, and he's standing there, and he's like, "Ah!" And he sends out this cry and pulls out this lute and starts playing a shredding solo on the lute. And the whole room just kind of cheers as he showboats it up. And you're all like, "Oh, god damn it, a bard." And he's going to be Gex. Can I get you to do a charisma saving throw? I think you're muted, man.
That's true. 10 altogether.
10? Did you add the D4?
No. D4. Come on. Pyramid
D4.
of health. Plus 3. So 13?
All right. Meets beats. So, in your head, you hear the song. You hear the song in your ears, but in your head, this voice in your head, like right on the prefrontal cortex, right up there, like it's dancing on your nerves. And it whispers, it's like, "I am going to defeat you. You're going to suffer." And it
Okay.
sort of gives you a bit of a headache, but you're just like, "Ugh." And you save, but you still take half damage. So that's going to be not a great roll. Wait, math. It's too late for math. 9 points of damage. Half that. So you're going to take 4 points of damage, psychic damage, and you don't feel an overwhelming compulsion. For a second, you just want to run away, but it passes quickly. All right, that's their turn. Oh, the Goliath also starts running out on the bridge, and that's probably what saved you, as the bridge starts really bowing as the weight of the Goliath goes running out. It's like, "Out of the way, bard," and goes pushing past the bard, and gets almost off the bridge on his turn. And he sees Gex, the other Goliath, the Goliath on Goliath action, and he takes his giant war axe and chucks it end over end at you at disadvantage to try and hit you with his double-headed axe. That's a 2, so it's gonna miss. Tillman, roll a d20 for me. Hey, Sarah Fabriel, thanks for jumping in.
20. 14.
No problem. It's one of those things where you succeeded, but really you were just lucky. And so this giant axe goes clang into the stone next to where you're standing, and then kind of falls onto the ground. And it just missed you to the left. And a few seconds after it went, you quickly dodged to the other way. All right. Okay. We are at that point. There's this weird, like, kaboom, as the barrel that had been hit by a fire source must have been just a little bit hit, and it explodes in a burst of fire in that whole region. It's a good 20-foot radius burst, extending out, and it's just... Wait, let's see. Wait, where's the barrel? 5, 10. Oh, it's just enough to hit that double hand axe guy who's right next to Hilda, but not enough to hit Hilda. You are lucky.
Nice.
That is very lucky.
Thank you.
All right. And that's going to do enough, actually. So that guy's like... and gets blown. That's just there. That fireball was just there for 1 second. He gets blown over Hilda, over this thing, and he lands half his body dangling into that pit, and the other half on the surface, and he digs both axes into the stonework to kind of keep himself from falling in. And those barrels are no more, but I can't delete them, so just deal. All right. Yeah, Wilhelm scream. Absolutely. Thanks, Sarah. All right. I believe that's the bottom of the order. So we will be coming back now. Strictly speaking, I'm supposed to stop the game at 12 o'clock. For my own sake. Because I wake up real early.
Yes.
That's all good, man. We can pause there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right.
Yes.
So
I think we did pretty good. Explosion.
we
There
went
were some vines.
There's
Somebody
some
died.
vines, some exploding. You shot a bunch of people, and it's on. You're in the gauntlet, folks. You're in the gauntlet. So we're gonna pick up where we left off next week, next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel. And thanks very much for playing, everybody. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Thank you.
All right. Before we go, we do have to get going. I have to sleep. But before we go, we do need a name for tonight's episode. Players, you're welcome to make suggestions if you want to. Audience, you can make suggestions for tonight's name for tonight's episode. While they're thinking,
Enter the Gauntlet.
enter. Ooh,
Yeah, I think Enter the Gauntlet.
that's gonna be tough to beat. But I have done a double title before, so internet, you're still free to chime in. But Enter the Gauntlet, that is hard to beat. Oh, Gordon, I bet you've named most of our episodes. Axes and
Yeah,
one exploding barrel. 2 X's, 1 exploding barrel. I like that. That'll be like our subtitle.
I was
Splash.
gonna say Enter the Gauntlet, but brunch first.
we did do brunch and lunch first.
All right.
Never enter a gauntlet on an empty stomach.
I love it. All right, with that, we're going to sign off. Don't forget to stick around for the Creative Commons credits, for all the music that we use. And again, thanks so much for playing, everybody. That was so much fun. I hope we can do this again real soon. All right. Any parting words?
Okay.
Do
Have a
your
good night,
time.
everybody.
This.
And now,
Me
I like it. Nice. Hand
Signing off.
to the face. It's a heal spell. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.